Hey guys, if you don't know me already, I'm Kodee. I'm going to be talking to you guys about where I did my internship, and I did mine at the SWOSU Strength and Conditioning Center. So obviously, summer internship 2019. I'm going to start off by talking to you guys a little bit about the site, if you don't know it, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it, but anyway, it is where all the athletes train in season and out of season for all of the sports at SWOSU. It was renovated a few years ago. It's now 7,500 square feet, equipped with 14 squat bench racks, fully loaded with all the weights, bands, anything you can possibly think of. We have a full dumbbell set, or actually 3 full dumbbell sets. We have some glute ham raise machines too at the moment, with some on the way, which we're super excited about. We also have a cable machine, a leg press, and a lot of accessory equipment such as sleds, bands, med balls, ab rollouts, ladders, hurdles, you name it. The SWOSU Strength and Conditioning Center probably has it, much like a lot of collegiate training facilities do. So my job responsibilities at the Strength and Conditioning Center included things, especially at the beginning of the summer cleaning. It was a little bit slow. Athlete-wise, the first 2 weeks that I was there, because football hadn't come back yet. A lot of football players come back during the summer to train. Unfortunately, that means that we do summer cleaning, and we do deep cleaning this year, especially because we now have a new head coach, so he wanted to get everything spick and span for whenever he started training. So this meant stripping all the racks of all of their equipment, every single plate, every single band, pulling it all off, cleaning all of the individual equipment, the rack itself, the floors, then putting the racks back together. So again, I said we have 14 of those racks all fully equipped, so that took about a week or so to do. Then I moved on to the dumbbells, cleaned every individual dumbbell, the floors, moved on to the cardio equipment. We have an elliptical and a treadmill. So again, anything that you could think of, we cleaned it. We also reorganized a little bit. We moved some machines around, got rid of some machines so that we could make room for, like I said, our new glute ham raise machines. So it was definitely a busy first 2 weeks. And then after that, after the football players started to get back, we started to get rolling. I had daily and weekly chores, which consisted, again, of just keeping everything nice and tidy. So that means straightening all the weights at the end of the day, making sure everything's pushed in, tidied up, facing the right direction, making sure that all the racks have everything they need for the next day, cleaning off all the benches. On a weekly basis, we would clean the floors, sweep the floors, deep clean the floors, deep clean all the other machines, and then something new that we implemented was stripping 1 rack a week, cleaning it down, cleaning the floors around it, at least getting one of those done a week and just cycling through so that all of the racks stayed nice and tidy. Along with cleaning, I got to observe the training for football and some volleyball players that were there at the time. It was really cool being able to see one coach phase out and a new coach come in and completely start from scratch with a different philosophy. I played and trained under Coach Jackson, and I was fortunate enough to see Coach Aller come in and completely start his new program from scratch. And so I got to see a lot of the behind the scenes of developing a program and implementing it, and what that meant means, creating all your new templates, started from scratch. It's like a new teacher coming in with no lesson plans. You have to create all your lesson plans from scratch, and then after that it gets easier. But he was completely starting over, which was really cool to see, because I got to see a whole new philosophy coming about, and I also got to see how the athletes were responding to this different type of training, as well as a different type of coaching, because sometimes that can be a little bit difficult whenever a new coach steps in. So it was really cool. I got to see a different dynamic than probably a lot of other interns have gotten to see in the past. So for my special project, I did equipment inventory. Being an athlete, you see a lot of things get stolen, and I wanted to alleviate that stress, because we have a lot of things that break just because of wear and tear of everyday usage, and we find ourselves not having backups or running out. because people are stealing equipment, and then we have to order all new stuff. So that's a lot of money coming out of the SWOSU Strength and Conditioning's budget because we're having to buy equipment that should just be there. So I started out with daily rack inventory, meaning that interns and GAs alike will come through every single day, go through each rack. Each rack is put together very uniform, so you'll go by, you'll see, for example, if you're going to look at the plates, each rack has 4 2.5 plates on each, 2 on each side. So you'll check off to make sure it has that, and so on. You'll make sure it has both bars that are there, all the different types of bands that are supposed to be there, and they're each on their own hook, the blue pad, a box, a rogue box, a foam roller, and the med balls. So this has 14 different boxes, so you'll just go through each rack and check off to see if anything is missing. If something is missing, Coach Aller actually wanted to implement something called rack captains this year. So I kind of incorporated that into my special project by creating a sheet where he could assign the rack captain as well as write down everybody else who is at the rack. So theoretically, if something went missing, you would know who the rack captain was, and then they get the option to write the other athletes inside the box, so you know everybody at the rack during whatever time in whatever sport. So like I said, if something goes missing, you'll know who exactly was at that rack, you'll know who to ask. This is something really cool that Coach Aller wanted to implement because it's just one of the things that he is trying to instill is a sense of accountability and discipline, meaning that, you know, if something goes missing, it's the whole rack's fault, and they'll be punished. And it was actually really nice for me because Coach Aller had them straighten up their own racks at the end of every training session, so that alleviated some stress off of me. But it's just another way to implement a little bit of discipline and accountability, which is one of the things that Coach Aller is trying to instill in his athletes. The last thing that I implemented or was a part of my special project was an equipment checkout sheet. We have equipment that we do loan out to people, but sometimes people just take it without asking. So this is a way that Coach Aller can keep track of who, what, and when people are checking things out. So they'll write their name, the equipment or the item that they're checking out, the checkout date, and the check-in date. So if he can keep track of where things are going. If things are getting checked in or checked out but not getting checked back in, he'll know who to ask. Things that I wish that I would have known going into my internship. I had a hard time with this because I have been around the SWOSU Strength and Conditioning Center for 4 years now, and I was very involved as an athlete. I was always in there. It's what I love to do. I love to work out. I love to be a part of that atmosphere. So I knew how things ran. But what I wasn't prepared for was all of the small tasks that we have to do, but all the downtime that we have to do, or not do, but we have. So there's a ton of downtime in between training sessions or just during open gym time, and sometimes people don't come, and that means you're just sitting in there. You can always find tasks to do cleaning-wise and get your chores done, but it's just par for the course, you know. And again, I was very busy doing cleaning and rearranging and getting ready for teams, so I didn't experience a ton of downtime, but the times that I did have, it kind of wears on you just a bit. So it makes you have a respect for the coaches whenever there's open gym time and there's no one in there. That just means there's hours and hours of them just sitting in there waiting for people to come work out. Also, this isn't something that I wish I would have known, but it was something that I love to see, and I know I talked about it a second ago, the transition between coaches. I loved seeing all the behind-the-scenes stuff that has to happen in order to get a program set up, get teams set up for the off-season and then preseason and in-season. So I got to see Coach Aller creating all of these programs, which was really, really cool. And like I said, I got to see the transition. I got to see how athletes responded to his programs physically and how they were responding to him personally as a new coach. And all of that is just different aspects of strength and conditioning that not everybody thinks about and not everybody gets to see. And so I was super fortunate to get to see all of the behind the scenes stuff that, you know, other interns in the past haven't gotten to experience. So my future plans and opportunities, I was really excited about this slide actually. So I am currently an employee at a Functional 45 studio here in sunny San Diego, California. As soon as my internship got done, I actually sold all my stuff and moved out to California kind of on a whim, and I applied for a job at a Functional 45 studio, which is a combination between high intensity interval training and circuit training along with strength training and functional movement. So they're 45-minute workouts, very intense, but it is a fun atmosphere. These gyms they're spreading like wildfire. They're primarily on the West Coast, but I love it. So that means I am currently in the process of getting my NASM personal training certification. So I know we talk a ton about certifications in our classes, and so that's just really cool that I never thought that I would get a certification, and here I am getting a certification. I never thought that I would get a master's, and here I am considering getting a master's. I just don't know in what yet. I also have potentially an opportunity to go into a strength and conditioning setting for a club volleyball club here in San Diego. So that means I would have to get my CSCS, which we're all very familiar with. So that's really cool. Again, we talk about all these things, and it's all just kind of, it seems like it's never going to happen. We're not going to have to get these certifications, but here I am experiencing it, getting the certifications, and I love knowing what I'm looking at and what I'm talking about whenever I'm searching for a certification or in that world. We're definitely well equipped to come out into this world. I'll have to say that. So like I said, I'm in sunny San Diego, and that is what I'm doing currently. What I wish to pass on, so my little picture passing the baton. I just want everybody to know that, especially in the strength and conditioning setting, there is so much more than meets the eye. A lot of people think that it is like a get out of jail free card and it's an easy internship, but there's actually a lot more to it. Like I said, the behind the scenes stuff is mad sometimes. There's a lot of stuff going on, a lot of parts. So it's really cool to get to experience that, but that's something that you should be ready for in any setting, in any internship. Your attitude is everything. So your internship is what you make it. You can either get a ton out of it or you can not get a lot out of it. Like I said, there's a lot of opportunity for downtime in the Strength and Conditioning Center, and you could take full advantage of it, but your attitude is honestly everything, and you have so many opportunities to learn, so you should definitely seize those opportunities. Like I said, that was my next point. Soak up every opportunity there is to learn, because there's so many, and they just help you whenever you get out into the real world. Another thing is be creative and enjoy it and have a lot of fun. I created a chore board for one of my learning goals, and that was probably the most, I was so proud of that chore board. And it's actually something that's super functional in the strength and conditioning room, and will probably be there the next time I visit, if I ever go back to Oklahoma to visit. It's super cool, and I was just creative and thinking about how it could help, and that's something that I was super proud of that I left behind. Again, and when you're done with your internship, my last point is that the sky is the limit. I moved out to the beach because I wanted to be a beach bum, and I actually ended up finding something that I really enjoy doing. And even if it's just for a short period of time, the sky is the limit. I also, just got a sales job and selling medical supplies and medical marketing because of my degree in exercise science. And I have no sales experience, and they almost didn't hire me because of that, but the fact that I had an exercise science degree was super appealing to them. So just know that there is so much that you could do with your degree, and the sky is the limit. So I hope everybody had an awesome internship. That's the end of mine.